Hi, welcome back to another video and welcome to the next episode of Book Box Battle. So I have once again skipped my Illumicrate box for this month. So we've just got the Fairy Loot Adult. So let's open her up. The theme card is Powerful Legacies. I do know what this book is. I'm excited yet nervous. So let's get in here. We've got purple, very pretty edges, purple on the top, and it is Gifted and Talented by Livy Blake. This is a completely redesigned cover. I'll pop that up on the screen somewhere. I'm fairly certain it's a completely redesigned cover anyway. Let's go through everything else. This is the alternative cover. Yeah, this is the normal cover, but in a purple colourway. I think normally it's blue. I like it when Fairy Loot do them like this, where it is a full dust jacket, so you can flip it and still have, you know, a synopsis and everything else, rather than when it's just artwork. So the naked hardcover is incredibly stunning. And then we have got the end papers. I think this might be the same artist who did the Illumicrate Atlas 6. It looks like a similar art style anyway. I may be completely wrong with that. I don't know who did that, so you know, I can't really fact check myself. Okay, synopsis. Where there's a will, there's a war. Thea Wren, brilliant CEO of Renfair Magnatech, is dead. As the so-called father of modern technology, he leaves an incredible legacy, and any of his 3 telepathically and electrokinetically gifted children could plausibly inherit the Renfair throne, or so they like to think. On the pipeline of gifted kid to clinically depressed adult, nobody wins. Yet as they gather to read Thea's final words, which Wren will come out on top? Okay, I am intrigued by this one. So I'm gonna head off, read the first chapter, and then come back to you and let you know my thoughts, whether I will be sticking with this one or twisting. This is, I'll be honest, this is a lot chunkier than I thought it was going to be. It is, in fact, actually it's not as big. It's just shy of 500 pages, 493. It looks a lot more than that. It's a chunky book. But yeah, I'm going to read the first chapter. I'm going to come back and let you know whether I'm going to be sticking or twisting. All right, so I have read the first chapter of Gifted and Talented. I am intrigued. I feel like this has given me vibes of the Atlas 6 meets like the Inheritance games. And I'm not really sure if that is the mood I'm in right now. I think I would enjoy this book, but I also think I want to read it at a time when I know I'm going to enjoy it. While I think I need to read this one at the right time, like when I'm in the right mood, it is intriguing me. Oh, I don't know what to do. Fuck it. I'm sticking. I'm going to read Gifted and Talented. And yeah, let's see what I think. I started reading Gifted and Talented, and I think I'm about 20 pages in. I'm exactly 20 pages in. I'm up to chapter 4. Am I a problem? Like, am I the problem? Because I'm not really enjoying it. And I'm only 20 pages in, so like I can't make any form of decision at this point. But I don't really understand what's happening, because I don't know if these people are magical or not. I don't really understand. And I don't really like the writing, because it's this like omnipresent narrator who keeps on self-inserting. E.g., Ailey was, at present, a marketing executive at Renfair. Well, executive was maybe too lofty a term. Her amendment, not mine. executive is technically accurate if spiritually controversial. And I don't really enjoy these kind of self-insert asides. Which is weird because I did enjoy the first book of the Atlas Six. I read the second book and then I've DNF'd the series. And that also had this very, very pretentious writing style. But I'm not sure if the pretension might be a little bit too much in this one. What did I say? I was up to page 20. Do you think I can get to page 50 today? I don't really know. I'm going to try and read a couple more chapters. I don't know how far I'm going to read tonight, but the book is just shy of 500 pages. So I will be reading at the very least the first 100 pages before I make any sort of idea in terms of whether or not I am enjoying the book. But yeah, I think I might be the problem here. Which ain't great, is it? Hey, hello. So I've just hit the 200 page mark of Gifted and Talented. I don't really know what I think, if I'm totally honest with you, because I find it very boring. So I know I said earlier when I've updated before, I'm not a big fan of the very, very pretentious writing style, and I'm not. It's painfully pretentious. But I also don't really care. So we're following 3 siblings and their father has died. And that's it. There seems to be magic in this world. Our 3 siblings seem to have some form of, like, one might be able to, and I'm saying seems to be because I don't actually know if magic in this world is real as, like, magic or not. Because it's not very clear to me. I don't understand. Do you know what? You know how there are some books, and I feel like Babel by R.F. Kuang is one of these, where you read the book and you kind of like, yeah, this book makes me feel dumb. And this book is making me feel dumb. Mainly because I feel like I should understand more about what's going on and the plot of it, and I shouldn't be questioning whether, like, the magic in this world is real or not real, because I know we've been given the answers, but I just don't understand it. And I'm not a fan of books that make me feel dumb. So I don't. Oh, I am going to just carry on and persevere because it's readable, at least. I'm just not really getting it. And that's the problem as well, is I don't know if I'm supposed to be getting it at this point. Like, I don't know if at the 200 page mark I am supposed to understand what's going on or not. All in all, I don't get it. I don't know if I don't know what I think. So this is a very, very, like, pointless update, but I'm nearly at the halfway mark. I thought I should at least do an update. I don't know if I'm enjoying it or not enjoying it or what really. So I'll read some more and get back to you. Hello. Okay, so I haven't actually updated you on Gifted and Talented for a while. But I am, where am I? I'm just past the 300 page mark, I think. 326. So I'm about 75% of the way through. And I have come to the conclusion that Gifted and Talented is not a fantasy book. It is at most, maybe you could call it magical realism, maybe speculative fiction, but it's definitely not a fantasy. If anything, I would say it's a literary fiction. There isn't really any plot. If it's a character study. If I had to describe what the plot of the book is, basically we have got a tech magnate who has died, and which of his 3 children are going to inherit his business. That is the plot of the book. I feel like Olivia Blake wanted to write a lit fic, and her publisher, agent, editor, I can go away, whoever, said to her, "This story's great, but it won't sell. Make it fantasy." Because the magic that is in here, so the company that the tech magnate owns is Magitech, and Magitech is explained at the beginning of the book, but I didn't understand the explanation, so I forgot about it. But it's not magic. You know, it's not magic how we as fantasy readers would understand magic. They're using the term magic because it's like it's something to do with like brain, like the electricity in your brain controlling things, which again isn't, there's no magic system in this book. It just seems that our 3 main characters have, you know, one can kind of, I guess, slightly alter people's minds. One can make electricity spark, and the other one apparently causes plagues. But that none of these things are, they're all, any magic that happens is all done by accident. None of it is intentional, which again makes me feel like this is not magic. I feel like magic typically is you're doing something intentionally, or at least there is an ability to make, you know, to be intentional. I've been reading this book for so freaking long now, and it's so slow paced, and like I'm not a lit fic reader, which is, you know, the first thing I'm gonna say. But I can and I do read a lit fic at times. You know, I will read anything, but I was expecting a fantasy, and that's not what I'm getting. I feel like if you really liked Babel, you'd like this. If you're a lit fic reader, you'd like this. But I liked Babel. I didn't love it, and I'm not a lit fic reader, so I am struggling a bit. I don't want a DNF because I'm not disliking it. It's just slow. And like I said, now I feel like now I've come to the kind of realization that this book is not a fantasy. Maybe I'll get through it a little bit quicker because I'm not waiting for something fantastical to happen. Because you know how like there's so many fantasy books where nothing fantastical happens until it happens. And so for ages I was waiting for that thing to happen to kind of bring like the magic and the fantasy in, but that just isn't happening here. Yeah, I am going to start reading the second book for this vlog because I need to get this vlog done. Quite honestly, I am sick to death of reading for this vlog now. So I'm going to start the second book. I'll read it alongside this one. Like I said, I don't want to DNF Gifted and Talented because like it's fine, but I do feel like at most it's going to be a 3-star read. I probably should DNF it really, shouldn't I? Like literally at most it would be 3 stars. I don't see how it's going to turn itself around in the last like not even 200 pages, 150 pages to be anything more than 3 stars. And 3 stars feels very generous as well. It probably won't even be that. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to start my other book. I will read a little bit more of Gifted and Talented because if nothing else, I've got the audiobook so I can put it on kind of just in the background. But yeah. This book will have an audience. This book will be an absolute 5-star fave for a lot of people. I am not those people. This just isn't a writing style, a genre, a plot or lack thereof that I personally enjoy. So that's my update on Gifted and Talented. I'll let you know probably when I finish reading the book. Hello. Okay, I've just finished reading Gifted and Talented. So yeah, let's get into it. I've just run it through core pile. I'm going to go through what I rated it in core pile. Characters, I gave a 4. I just wasn't intrigued or interested or excited by any of the characters. They were there. Atmosphere, I gave a 5. Like, yeah, the atmosphere was fine. The writing, I gave a 5. Again, the writing was very good. It's not my personal preference in terms of it's a very pretentious style. I didn't like so much of the breaking of the fourth wall that the narrator did, but you know, it was well written, objectively well written. Plot, I gave a 3. There is no plot in this book. This book is not a plot-driven book. It's a character study, and I didn't find the characters interesting. Then we have intrigue. I gave a 4. I finished it. Like, that's as much as I can kind of say in terms of my intrigue levels. Logic, maybe I'm being a bit harsh here, but logic I've given a 2. I still, reading 500 pages of this book, do not understand if magic is real, if magic is what we know as magic, you know, as in a sort of supernatural thing, whether it's what I would call technology. I don't know. I don't know what the magic is in this world. So none of it made sense. And then enjoyment, I gave a 4. I finished it. That's really all I can say on it. So that gave an overall rating of 2.5 stars, which does feel a little bit harsh, but at the same time, it does feel quite realistic. I have said all along that at most this would be getting 3 stars. And unfortunately, towards the end of the book, it just wasn't doing anything to improve that rating. Once we knew who the dad had left his company to, that was kind of it. Like I said, that was the plot of the book, and there's not really a lot that you can do once you've established that. Also, the book's 500 pages, and that was established at, like, I don't know, page 400. There was this kind of subplot of the 3 children having these like magical problems. One of them, Arthur, keeps on dying and coming back to life. That was resolved very, very easily. And it wasn't magic. And then one of the other daughters, Ailey, keeps on accidentally making plagues, and that was resolved by basically going, yeah, Babs, you just need to go to therapy. Cool. So that was the overall sort of conclusion of the whole magical issue in the book, is that these kids needed therapy. Yeah, do you know what? Some people are going to love this book. I am going to recommend this book to one of my friends because I know that she'll really enjoy it, but it's just not a book for me. It just didn't do it for me. And you know, that's not a bad thing. I actually was looking forward to this book. I thought I was going to enjoy it. I thought there was a potential for me to enjoy it at least, and it just didn't work for me, which is fine. I mean, it's disappointing, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, on to the next book, I guess. So for book 2 this month, if you saw my TBR, I picked Watermoon. The prompt was the most recent Illumicrate book, and so that would be Watermoon for me. I said in that video that I would use this one for book box battle, and that I wouldn't allow myself to do a stick or twist on it. And to be honest, I don't really know why I said that, because there's nothing stopping me pulling another book and just reading this at another time in the month. And also, well, I suppose really, if I decided to twist and not read this one, I still have to read this book at some point in the month anyway. But yeah, I am going to, do I want to see what I would come up with? Do you know what? I might do a sneaky little semi-cheat. I'm going to pull a book out of the jar and then pick between that book and Watermoon. I've got to read Watermoon anyway, so it makes sense for me to just read Watermoon for this. But let's see what else comes up and see if that is something that I am more intrigued by right now. We've got this one here, and that is The Courting of Bristol Keats. Well, we'll pick that one and we'll discuss. So, The Courting of Bristol Keats came in fairly adult quite recently. I think possibly January. I think it's a 2025 one anyway. This book is huge. As you can see, it is very, very chunky. How many pages are we? About 550 pages. But I've heard good things about it. My friend Juliana has read this book and absolutely loves it and has been telling me to read it. I've not heard as many good things about Watermoon. Watermoon apparently is half the size. Watermoon's like just under 370 pages, so Watermoon's not long at all. I think because this one is so big, I think what I'm going to do is pick up Watermoon. I'm not convinced I'm going to enjoy Watermoon. I think I have better chance of enjoying Bristol Keats. But I'm not going to read it right now just because I think that it is a big book. So I'm unlikely to, it's going to take me a while to read. That's my thoughts. Is that a good move? I don't know. We'll see later. Hello. Okay, so Watermoon update. Where is the book? This is what I am reading. I'm 128 pages in. Right, so we know I'm not a fan of flowery writing. This is fairly flowery. It's not so flowery that I'm like, oh, the metaphor is too much. You know, that when they're traveling through ponds, they literally are traveling through a pond. That's not a metaphor for something, and that the too much metaphor is what I don't like. So I'm reading it and it's fine, but I'm going to totally level with you all here. I only a couple of weeks ago set up my Our Fantasy 2025 TBR, and one of the squares on that is a book that would, with a setting that would break a physicist. And the love interest in this is, I think, actually a physicist, and he is fairly broken by the setting and the way that if you jump into this pond, you're going to come out into like a magical world. And if you go to this magical world, you're going to be painted like a scroll and you're black and white and two-dimensional. So I'm kind of like, if I just finish Watermoon, I've crossed off another square for the Our Fantasy TBR with actually one of the, in my opinion, harder prompts, because a setting that would break a physicist is, I think, quite a difficult prompt. So having a physicist whose brain is being broken by the setting in the book just makes sense. All of that to say that I think I'm not hating it so far. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. Now, partly that is because I'm obviously reading this straight after Gifted and Talented, which is not a fantasy. So I'm quite enjoying actually reading a fantasy. I do think, to be completely fair, it's not, Watermoon is not going to be like a 5-star favorite for me. Um, it'll probably be around about a 3-star, but probably at like the higher end of a 3-star, I hope, rather than the, lower end. Yeah, I'm having an okay time so far, I think. Hello. Okay, so Watermoon. I'm up to page 293 and I'm going to get on that in a minute. I've been audiobooking it while I've been making bunting out of old tandem read-along cards like these. I'm not gonna like fully unfold my bunting because it's all wrapped up, but this has entertained me for like 2 hours this afternoon. And also I've got a blue set as well. I'm probably going to make some more tomorrow as well because it was actually really easy and I think it's going to look really good. It's not for me personally. We've got a tandem event in a couple of weeks' time which I'm working at, so I made this to be displayed at the event just for fun. Anywho, Watermoon. Like I said, I am 295 pages in, 80% near enough. I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. I'm still not convinced it's going to be like a kind of 5-star favourite book ever, but I am enjoying it more than I thought I would. It's given me vibes of Addie LaRue. Oh, hey, Bracken. Hello. You're in the way, my darling. So it's given me vibes of Addie LaRue mixed with a bit of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Which is a strange thing for me to say because, again, I really dislike Erin Morgenstern's writing style. I hated The Starless Sea. The Night Circus was okay, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. Bracken, my darling, you are in the way. Nobody really wants to see the back of your ear. I know it's a lovely ear. I think she wants to go out. She's had her dinner and now she's like, well, Mum, you were outside all day and I was outside all day and now I want to do other things, don't you? Don't you, big girl? Anyway, where are we? Yeah, so I'm surprised how much I'm enjoying Watermoon. It is definitely not my usual kind of thing. I'll be honest, if I was reading it physically, I probably would be struggling a lot more. Yeah, I'm surprised how much I am enjoying Watermoon. It's not my usual kind of thing. And I do feel like if I was reading it physically, I would be struggling. But because I'm audioing it, or at least I've audioed for like, I don't know, I think I audioed about 50% of the book in like the last couple of hours while I've been crafting. It's meant that I've been able to kind of just like absorb the story without having to like physically sit down and concentrate on it. So yeah, I don't think I've taken in every single word that has been said in this story, and to be honest, I'm not too mad about it. Like I said, it's not my usual kind of thing. I am having a good time, but I don't feel like I need to know the ins and outs of how the paper cranes make memories disappear. Oh, I don't really know. There's a lot of like very confusing magic in here and I'm not even attempting to understand it. But yeah, positive update. Hello, I have just finished reading Watermoon. So I finished it off on audio while I was crocheting. I can get rid of the bookmark now. Okay, so thoughts on Watermoon. As I've said previously, I enjoyed this. I finished it. It's not my usual kind of thing, and it wasn't like the most amazing book for me. I'm going to give it 3 stars because it was enjoyable. I just didn't fully connect. So the characters I liked their kind of romance subplot. I thought the atmosphere was really nice. Again, I thought that it was a very magical, very beautifully written world. I just didn't really understand a lot of the world. Like at one point they were traveling in a rumor, and I think that's just quite like a really cool piece of language, if I'm honest. To say, oh, we're traveling in a rumor. And like I understand there's a kind of, a rumor will travel super, super quickly. But I also just, how are you saying it's working? So I will say, I've used this for the R fantasy square of will break a physicist. And examples like I just gave of traveling within a rumor has broken me, and I am not a physicist. And as one of the main characters in this book is a physicist who is also fairly broken, yeah, this book would break a physicist. So yeah, with Watermoon, I liked it. I liked it. Again, it wasn't ever going to be a favorite. It's not the writing style, it's not a plot style, it doesn't tick any of my boxes. So the fact that I enjoyed it as much as I did is fantastic. However, moving on from Watermoon, it has made me think that I need to kind of just reassess my subscriptions. So I'm going to move over. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go here, like that. And I'm going to put some little graphics up here. Because I have gone through all of the books that have been in Illumicrate and Adult Fairy Loot since January 2024. And I'm going to include April 2025 for both of these boxes. I have looked up spoilers. I do know what is coming, but I'm not going to sort of tell you what they are because obviously spoilers. But that will give me 16 months worth of books. And let's just go through. So starting off with Illumicrate. These are the books that have been in Illumicrate boxes over the last 16 months. These are the ones that I have skipped. So that's 6 books. These are the ones then that I have unhauled or DNF'd. So either unhauled, unread, or DNF'd, which is an additional 3. So with those ones, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods and Of Jade and Dragons, I unhauled, unread. And To Cage a God, I had DNF'd. And then the ones I have read, we've only got 3. The Phoenix Keeper, I loved, fantastic, 5 stars. Hamingen Luck and Watermoon were both sort of 3-star reads. Of the 4 that we have got left, one of them, April's book, I am intrigued by. The other 3, we've got Voyage of the Damned, A Dark and Drowning Tide, and Until We Shatter. All of those 3 I'm a little bit question mark about. A Dark and Drowning Tide is probably the one of those 3 that intrigues me the most, but Voyage of the Damned I actually don't think I'm going to enjoy, and Until We Shatter could go either way. So that gives us currently 9 books out of 16 that I have not been interested in, either skipped, unhauled, or DNF'd. And of the 3 that I've read, only one of the books I have enjoyed, which isn't great, is it? Which I think this means to me is saying that I have got to cancel Illumicrate. However, their July box has got a book that I am very excited by. Again, obviously won't tell you what it is, but I do actually have it on NetGalley. So I think what I'm going to do, I've already got the April box coming. I think what I'm going to do is read this NetGalley book that I'm excited to buy. If I absolutely love that book, absolutely incredible, I need the special edition Illumicrate edition, then yes, I will keep the subscription to get that box and cancel afterwards. If I was happy just having read it digitally and I don't need a trophy edition, or I'd be very happy just to pick up like a standard edition, then I will be cancelling Illumicrate in May, which does make me sad. Actually, it does make me really sad, but I think for me, the stats are speaking for themselves there. Let's do the same with Adult Fairy Loot, just for fairness and interest. So, These books up here are the books that have been in the Adult Fairy Loot boxes from January 2024. These are the ones that I have skipped, and then these 3 are the ones that I have DNF'd. Yeah, they've all actually been DNFs. I haven't unhauled anything unread from Fairy Loot. And then these are the 4 that I have read. Of those 4 that I have read, we've got Long Live Evil, which I really enjoyed. A Fate Inked in Blood, which I didn't enjoy. A Sorcery and Small Magics, which I really enjoyed. And Gifted and Talented, which I didn't enjoy. However, I am going to caveat that by saying I expected to enjoy both A Fate Inked in Blood and Gifted and Talented. So I don't feel like those are ones which sort of cast a negative expectation on the Fairy Loot adult subscription, because I was expecting to enjoy them. As it happened, I didn't. Whereas, like, say, for Lumacrate, Hammond and Luck particularly, I had never crossed my path. I had no idea about this book, so I had no expectations going in. I've only heard of it because of a Lumacrate, and then not enjoying it. It's like, well, that's to me is a reflection on the Illumicrate subscription, whereas the Fairy Loot ones, I already had heard of them and was excited. So it's not me not liking them, it's not a subscription, not a reflection on Fairy Loot. And in fact, ironically, the other 2 that I did enjoy, so Long Live Evil and Sorcery and Small Magics, I hadn't heard of before. So again, makes the Fairy Loot subscription better. Of the 6 books left on my Fairy Loot adult shelf, I suppose, 4 of them I am excited by, 2 of them I'm question mark about. So the April book I'm excited by, The Courtin of Bristol Keats I'm excited by, The Honey Witch and Evocation. I think I'm going to like those 4. The 2 that I'm question mark about are The Night Ends with Fire and The Gods Below. With both of them, they could work, they could not work. I don't know which way it's going to go. So yeah, the way that I'm seeing it, Illumicrate, like I was saying just now, rough, I think, when I kind of making the assumptions about the books, that whether I'm going to like them or not, 12 out of the 16 books, so 3/4 of the books, I don't think I'm going to enjoy or have not enjoyed. Whereas with Fairy Loot, it's 50-50. Half of the books I think I am going to enjoy, half the books I've either not enjoyed or I don't think I'm going to, a kind of question mark. I feel like for a subscription box, I need at least 50% of the books to be hits for me to warrant still spending the sort of £25-30 a month, £30 a month on a book. I need at least half the time for them to be hits. So I am going to keep Fairy Loot adult, but I am going to kind of be keeping an eye on that. And if there are like a number of books where I'm just like, it's not working for me, then that subscription also may go. But Illumicrate, once I've made a decision about this July book and whether or not I want to get that box or not, Illumicrate will be going, unfortunately. So on that bombshell, that is this vlog ended. I think this little madam wants her dinner, don't you? Do you want your dinner? That is the end of this vlog. If you like this video, please leave me a like, subscribe down below. If you want to just leave me an emoji to let me know you are here, leave me a moon for water moon. Yeah, while this video was maybe not the most successful in that, both books were mediocre for me, I feel like what we have just chatted through with my kind of thoughts on what I'm doing with my subscriptions is really good. I'm happy with coming to those decisions because I feel like that's the purpose of this challenge, as well as clearing out my backlog. It is also a case of being able to decide, do I need these subscriptions? But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.